Hello guys. In previous video, we are learning about dimensions and measures. If you are not seeing that video, please watch that video. Without watching that video, you cannot understand types of dimensions. So my suggestion is please watch that video to learn what is dimension, what is measure, and what is transaction table, what is measure table, fact table, what is discrete versus continuous, all those things I covered on that video. So after that video you can watch this video. Now I can talk about types of dimensions. We have 9 type of dimensions. One, SCD, slowly changing dimension. RCD, unchanging dimension. Shrunken dimension. Junk dimension. Conformed dimension. Degenerated dimension. Role playing dimension. Inferred dimensions. Now we can see one by one. First one, SCD. What is SCD? SCD full form is slowly changing dimension. As you see in the name, slowly changing dimension, right? So if the data in the dimension is changed in what period of that time, such kind of dimension is called SCD. If the see in the dimension table, the data is changed time on time. I mean, slowly changing. Let's say, I'll tell you one example. If we have student table, so we can student table, I think, student name. In the student table, name is there. In student table, name is there. Now we know it Sai studying, let's say, intermediate first year. Okay, now these guys are 10 plus 10th. Now these guys are studying in 10th class, right now. Okay, year 2023. 23. Okay, after certain period of time, these guys are moving into intermediate or degree, right? So these dimension values slowly changing into another dimension. I mean, other value. These fact tables are, I mean, these guys are changing into this guy, this student 10th class table is not no more Vinod and Kirti and 2024. These guys are not anymore in the student table of in 10th class. 10th table. Okay. This table is student table on that name of the 10th table. Okay, right? So these guys are changing into the 2024. These guys are changing into another table, right? So this is slowly changing dimension. Under the SCD, dimension values or dimension fields changing slowly. Okay, I hope you understanding. Okay, that's why. So employees also, if one employee, same example, student, you can take same example. One employee changing another company, after getting promotion or after getting some other hike or anything, he transferred into another company. In that time, employee table, this guy is not anymore, right? So this slowly, this dimension employee names also changing in some other company or some other department. So these values are changing slowly. That's why we can call SCD, slowly changing dimension. Now coming to RCD, rapidly changing dimension. Same like, if the data of the dimension is changing rapidly, such kind of dimension is called SCD. So in the data, in this dimension, data is changing rapidly, means time to time changing. Okay, hourly changing, second to second. Let's say time, our stock price, these are changing rapidly, right? In the dimension table. So we can call RCD, rapidly changing dimension. Now unchanged dimension. Unchanged dimension means if data in the dimension not changed or constant, so that we can call it is unchanged dimension. Let's say in our planet we have lots of 9 planets is there, right? In solar system, these nine planets, the names are not changed in the dimension table, right? That is unchanged dimension. And one more thing, let's say gender. The gender of thing male or female not changed. It's static, right? So we can call it as a unchanged dimension. Okay. Shrunken. Now I'm talking about shrunken dimension. Shrunken dimension means the subset of dimension is called shrunken dimension. Okay, subset means dimension on dimension. Like if we have year, month, quarter, and week, right? Quarter subset of year. Okay, month subset of quarter. Week subset of month. Right. So the subset of dimension is called shrunken dimension. Okay, year of dimension divided from day dimension is called annual reports, right? So dimension one dimension under another dimension is called shrunken dimension. I hope you understand, right? Subset of dimension is called shrunken dimension. Now I'm talking about junk dimension. Junk dimension consolidate multiple low coordinate facts into single dimension table of simplify the tables. So in simple terms, unrelated information or what can I say? Unwanted or unrelated. If the dimension contains unrelated information, it's called junk dimension. We can say one example. Okay. See, scenario. Imagine if you have e-commerce company in that process online orders. In that e-commerce company, you have online orders are there. Each order have various flags is there. Each gift wrapped. See, in e-commerce company we have lots of product, right? On that product table, we need to if that product is gift wrapped or not. If gift wrapped requested for the customer, so we can say yes, or if grid wrapper requested no, then we can flag no. Like promo code yes or no, shipping speed yes, standard at express, payment method, credit card or payment. These the things we need to update it every time on the fact table. Instead of the we need to update all these things in the updating the fact table. We can create one junk dimension table like this grid wrapped as or no this, right? We can create one junk dimension key. We need to update these junk dimension keys in the transaction table so that we can comment the data with junk dimension, transaction table with the junk dimension table. It's too easy to get the data very easily and not repeated entries into the transaction table. See, that is I wrote here. Instead of having four separate columns in the transaction table, we need to add only one. Let's say one column, right? So in junk dimension table contains all possible combination of the flag values. If the order table stores junk dimension key, refer to in the row junk dimension table. It simplify orders fact table, improves query performance, right? If you grid wrapper, you need to add one column here. This promo code for one column here. Instead of all these columns, you can add yes or no flags, right? So you can create one junk dimension, and after that junk dimension you can create flags. On these flags you can update here, right? So with one column you can get all these information. So what are the benefits of junk dimensions? It's reduced number of columns in the fact table, already I told you. It simplified data modeling, already you can understand when I'm saying. Improve query performance. These three things we can help using junk dimension. I hope you understand. Now I'm talking about conformed dimension. If one dimension commonly shared with multiple businesses areas, such kind of dimension is called conformed dimension. If one dimension is commonly shared with multiple businesses, example, let's say call you are in let's say one village Vizag. You are in Vizag. In the Vizag, we have lots of colleges, hospitals, and timings. In that college, employees are working. In the hospital also, employees are working, and company also, employees are working. In these three businesses, might be office timings are same, 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It's commonly right, commonly sharing with the business hours is 9 to 7. It's fair enough, right? So these business hours commonly shared with these dimensions. So is one of the dimension commonly shared with the multiple business. So dimension information commonly shared with other businesses, the same thing is called conformed dimension. I hope you understand. Now, degenerated dimension. Degenerate contains primary key without any textual information, known as degenerated dimension. The dimension which contains only primary key without textual information. Okay. Now I can tell you one example. Mm, can I tell you degenerated new customer? Okay. If you have e-commerce business, in that e-commerce business, you have order table and transaction table and customer table. Okay, you have three tables. Okay, in the three tables, you have a new customer arrived to your store, and a new customer purchase one product. For that product, you have one ID. You entered into the ID into order table, right? But that customer name is not there with you. So what you do, you need to create what degenerated dimension table, and the degenerated dimension temporary name like new customer with the fact table ID. So you can enter these two IDs in different tables. After that, sometime what happened, you can, if you are getting the customer name information or location, everything, you can enter degenerated dimension to other dimension. Okay, so I think hope you understanding the what is degenerated means. Only this dimension only have don't have primary key. See, dimension which contains only primary key without have textual information. Okay, this dimension only, let's say here, what is primary key? Primary key is the transaction ID, but who are the customers, customer name, all those textual information not there, right? So that is degenerated dimension. I think you hope understand this concept also. Yeah. Role playing dimension. If one of the if one dimension playing multiple roles in that table, such kind of dimension is called role playing dimension. See, if you observe your Amazon account, just check your order something, right? On that order, when you order, if you are check when you order the product, you can check date of order. After that, if you are sending date of service, date of shipment, this date associated with order, service, and shipment, right? This order will, date will be role playing with the all the fact table, right? That's what we can call role playing dimension. If the one dimension playing multiple roles in the fact table, such kind of dimension is a role play dimension. Okay. Now, inferred dimension. If empty dimensions are known as inferred dimensions, it's commonly used in ETL. As inferred dimensions don't have primary key, we will create primary key as no surrogate key. Okay. Let's say, yep. Same example. You have one e-commerce store. In that e-commerce store, one customer arrived. You don't have that customer details. You have only customer ID. Customer transaction number only. You can, instead of transaction details, instead of updating this transaction ID, primary key, you can update the dimension table that number. Okay, so without primary key, you have that table. Okay, so inferred dimensions nothing but the empty dimensions are known as inferred dimensions, commonly used in ETL. If you have that empty dimensions, uh, you I mean if you have primary key on that time, you can create artificial primary key as a surrogate key. These don't get confused, guys. Just these things you can learn basics as you basics. What is SCD, what is RCD? Okay, these artificial primary key, primary key, surrogate key, you can learn further videos. Okay, just listen with just concentrating about what is types of types of dimensions. In the types of dimension, we have 9 types of dimensions. Each and every dimension I wrote with the definitions with example, and some of the one example I wrote here, let's say junk dimension, right? I hope you understanding this video. If you are liking this video, if you are learning something from my explanation, please like and share my video and subscribe my video. Thank you.